Hello and welcome. Back in 2005, Robert Rodriguez decided to let his 7-year-old son, Racer Max, create a movie based on his stories and dreams.
The film is based on the dreams and stories of 7-year-old boy named Racer Max, whose father Robert Rodriguez directs the film.
As you can imagine, it did not turn out to be a good film, and that's what we're talking about today. Today we're taking a look at the adventures of SHARKBOY and LAVAGIRL. Now, just like I mentioned with the various other films, Dimension Films and Miramax were partnered under Walt Disney Studios. So even though it does not say a Walt Disney picture anywhere along the movie, it was owned under the parent company, and just like the Spy Kids films, it played all the time on Disney Channel while it was still relevant. And I am a little ashamed to say that I would watch it every time it was on Disney Channel because I had the biggest crush on Taylor Lautner back then. And I literally knew that this film was garbage back then, but I still watched this garbage piece of film so I could stare at Taylor Lautner in my preteen, well, I was a teenager back then, in my teenage years. Now that I've gone back and rewatched it, it's just completely worse. It doesn't improve at all. We have in our starring cast Taylor Lautner, who actually did go on to bigger roles, and he's best known now from Twilight, playing Jacob.
Just checking to see if you're still human.
Look, I'm here to warn you. If your kind come on our land again.
Wait, what?
You didn't tell her?
As well as Taylor Dooley, who didn't do much after it, but I know she has an Instagram and a baby, and she's working on getting back into acting. As well as we have George Lopez, who's a really big actor, as well as Cameron Boyd is our main character, Max. But I checked his IMDb, and actually he's doing really well for himself. He's still in a lot of movies. Like I said before, this movie is legitimately based on the dreams and stories from a 7-year-old boy. I really question how they thought this was gonna be amazing. It's not.
And that's what I did this summer.
Our basic plotline is Max, our main character, is in our real world, and he ends up creating SHARKBOY and LAVAGIRL, and they come into his real world and they have to go to their home planet Drool to save them from the darkness. Oh, and it's also in 3D too.
Put these on, everybody. Blue goggles for the boys, pink for the girls. Do you have another pair of boy goggles?
Which also, that's very gender sensitive. I know this is 2005 and we have gone a long way with non-binary relevance, but the fact that you have to tell this to kids, it shouldn't have mattered back then. The pink or blue doesn't matter color-wise, and that really was so awkward listening to them even today. This is basically completely all filmed on a green screen, if you couldn't tell, because it totally looks so realistic. I mean, you couldn't tell that that was fake at all, no. But in all seriousness, this movie takes from so much. They're trying to prevent, the villain is trying to prevent people from falling asleep, because when they fall asleep they dream and they are able to create whatever they want. Max has a dream journal because he doesn't remember all his dreams, and so he writes everything down so he can take a look back at what he dreamt about. So kids, keep a dream journal so that way everything that you dream about you can dream up later in life in reality. You want $1 million? Just go to sleep and dream it up and bam, it'll be there for you. You want some milk and cookies? Dream that up and you'll have gigantic milk and cookies that you can sleep on in a river of milk. Because that's what happens here.
Here's a marshmallow pillow.
How about dreaming us into the dream lair?
The ground is thumping too much.
My highly trained ears hear it too. Boom, boom, boom.
Let me hear it.
I wouldn't.
I know it's a kid's film, but it is extremely predictable, and even though I've seen this before, I didn't really remember anything about it, except for I know that SHARKBOY sings in this film, but looking back now, it's 1,000 times more cringeworthy than it was in the past.
Just relax, lay about, or my fist will put you out. Dream, 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 dream. Take your time, but beware, there's darkness in the air. Dream, 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 dream.
This dream lullaby. It's the stuff of nightmares. All of the characters that are these villains or the princess or anyone besides SHARKBOY and LavaGirl were their classmates and teacher from the real world, which blatantly takes off from The Wizard of Oz. There's so little creativity in this. The creativity is so predictable creativity, and it doesn't work at all. A little bit of the Iron Giant in here, you have a little bit of Wizard of Oz in here, you have Jaws in here. Just anything you can name, you could compare it to a film that was already done. And I know that they're trying to make a good message and a good moral here, because they say if you dream something, it'll come true and you can achieve your dreams if you pay attention and fulfill them. Which I have to give them credit for. It's a really great message, but it just fell apart because you can't take this movie seriously at all.
Even the smallest dreamers
We believe in you, Max.
can become the biggest heroes.
It's really funny because while I was watching this, I was looking up some facts because nothing really happens in this movie, but I was curious to see more information and I found some interesting stuff. This is all from IMDb. But I learned that Miley Cyrus actually was in the running to play LavaGirl herself, and because the fact that she ended up getting Hannah Montana, she had to back out. But she literally had the part at first before it went to Taylor Dooley. And I'm just cracking up learning this. Like, I feel like that was such a great move that she had to back out for Hannah Montana, because can you imagine Miley Cyrus as LavaGirl? And then they also said that the movie was completed so quickly that they were ready to ship it out before advertisements were even done for this film. So that just shows you the quality of this masterpiece. This is the type of film that you would want to play a drinking game to. And I went to look up SHARKBOY and LavaGirl drinking games, and I found one. Legitly, the directions go as SHARKBOY and LavaGirl drinking game. Take a shot every time the movie is terrible. Creator's warning. Playing for more than 20 minutes will likely require hospitalization of the players. I would even make my own drinking game up. Take a shot every time they say dream, but don't, because you will completely die. They say dream 188 times according to IMDb on this movie. We're gonna continue back to serious action films that are legitly good action films tomorrow. We're gonna take a look at National Treasure. So I'm so happy to be gone of this mess. We can just throw this in the dream graveyard, never to be seen again. And stay tuned for National Treasure. And as always, I hope you have a magical day and I will see you real soon.